Hello, everybody. This is Tech Dumps, and I am bringing you something that happens all too often for a degenerate distro hopping person like myself. I'm going to go through just doing a base install of stuff after changing pretty much just my desktop background. Uh, I think that might be the first step for all of us. Briefly, I was experiencing an issue on my install of Arch where it was just randomly shutting down every few seconds. Um, Not really sure why. It was still doing it whenever I switched over to Fedora, which is kind of my go-to as of late and always. I ended up power cycling it a whole bunch of times and started working again. Not a great solution for anyone experiencing the same thing, but just try a few things out, and I'm sure you might fix it if you run into it. So I'm going to go through and install VirtualBox. I'm choosing that over QUME or the other way around. Dyslexia is striking me right now. Just for easy use for me. I've used VirtualBox for so long at this point that it just kind of feels ingrained. Plus, I've got a few good friends that now work at Oracle, and I guess in a way I'm supporting them in my mind, at least to justify it, being lazy, going with this. Plus, I'm not going to do anything too intensive. We're really just going to be installing probably Arch and most likely, I'd say maybe Windows Server, maybe Windows 10 too. I have a image already set up that I need to move over for doing some testing. It's always hard whenever you switch to a new OS to actually pick what needs to go on, what needs to happen right away. So I'm going with the basics. VirtualBox first, next Visual Studio Code. I'm awful. Go with something else. Go with something different. You could set up other things to do a lot of the autocomplete and whatnot, make it easier on yourself. Or you could just install code and it works phenomenally most of the time. Why I went with Fedora also is not really anything good. And I've got no solid reason for liking Fedora as much as I do. Go with me, like me, don't like me. Fedora is probably not the best out there. It's just the most familiar with me. Now, I cut out a bunch of stuff there if you couldn't feel by the hard jump of just not getting this to un-7-zip correctly. And I'm going to struggle with it throughout the rest of the video. Don't worry, at some point I give up, I step away from it. I say, let's just go ahead and do Windows, knock it out. And believe it or not, after this was done filming, tried it again the same way that I'd been doing it, worked. I don't think Fedora will be my long-term stay. It never is. And maybe I end up coming back to it often enough. I should just stop distro hopping and just settle down with this one. But for the next videos coming up after this one, I really want to try out something new. I want to try out something that, I hear a lot in other YouTube videos that I've been watching, and that's NixOS. It sounds like a pretty interesting one. I'll probably go more deep into it in a different video, but I think it would be fun thing to play around with and just see if I can get it working, see if I can get it good for my use cases, which is, I don't know, video editing, playing some light games, doing some project work on. Nothing huge, nothing crazy, just run of the mill fun stuff. This setup right here is going to fail in the short future. I don't know if that was just something I put in or didn't put in. Maybe it's the trial version of Windows that's causing an issue. I don't know. If you run into the same error that I do, just take it out and it will work fine. But it is a cool thought, kind of like whenever vSphere has one of the templates set up, or I forgot their honest names, where you can set some of the stuff like joining the domain, doing little run tasks at the beginning. Even AWS has something similar where you can set up some of the parameters whenever you're launching out servers, just in case you want to have a lot of the stuff the same. It can rattle it off quick for you. It's a cool thought, and probably just me messing it up here doesn't stop me from going a little too deep and trying to figure it out and just ending up skipping it and figuring out something else later. I always wonder how many people are distro hoppers out there. How many people just set up a system and stick with it for life? I had Arch set up for maybe 3 months, maybe less. I don't even remember. And it was all right. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great. It didn't make me want to not distro hop every week. Maybe that's just a inert reaction or whatever the term would be of me just wanting to jump ship at the first signs of things going bad. I don't know if anyone else has that with at their job. Project starts going the wrong way, and you're just like, well, maybe I go someplace else, maybe I don't. Easy enough for a lot of these fixes, though. Just Google your error, throw it in, you're good. I think the only people I know who don't distro hop ever is a few mad lads out there at my work who run Gentoo. And some of them talk about it like they've gone through iterations, several different machines, moving it over from each machine to the new machine, doing some crazy stuff to get it running. I always find myself asking, do I need my setup that badly? Do I need stuff there all the time? And that's kind of where my cursory readings of NixOS was like, well, maybe I will fall in love with the whole having everything set up every time, not having to do this few hour setup of stuff whenever I need to start a new OS. Maybe having something there that just, hey, read it out of this file, put it in my system. Repeatable, nice, easy enough to put in, I hope. I think it could really work for me. And it might work for some people out there. Maybe we can learn some stuff together. Who knows? For now, we're just figuring out this issue. And luckily enough, it didn't take a reboot, which is like my last ditch effort. I never want to do it. It said to do it, I think, in that article. Totally ignored that part, and it worked out for me. But this is where it fails because the script or whatever they have running there at the beginning to set some of the stuff. But no worries. We'll watch it happen a few times. Other than that, I've also set up Red Hat with one of the developer account licenses on the old T130 that I got off of Facebook Marketplace for 20 bucks. Had no RAM, but still a great running system. Did that this week. It's sitting currently in my living room, frustrating my wife to no end. Here's where we go ahead and skip that and get it all ready to go. And once it's ready, drop it in, and that's it. I'll probably skip from here until the setup, honestly. I don't. And for anyone who does end up watching this and does like it, does dislike it, you know, I can tell this isn't what I probably be watching a ton of, but hopefully I get into the swing of things. Hopefully I get moving, get better. I think it's a work in progress. Um, you gotta grow, you gotta have some stuff, fail, do good, find your groove, get better at editing, which still a work in progress. Maybe set up a better schedule too. Could be useful. But as you can see, that's a working system. Also got Kali up and running and ready to do some more testing in the future. I hope to bring you guys some more exciting stuff in future videos. I hope that you like, comment, subscribe, all the stuff people normally say. Hopefully that works. And, well, I'll see you on the next video.